Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shadowy Show. Welcome back to Monthly Thursdays. This is the second video within this playlist, within this series. Go check out the first one if you haven't watched it already. Today, we are asking the question, why are we still having these discussions? And this specifically relates to the bookish community, especially more so on BookTok, but just the bookish community in general, because a lot of people seem to be really shitting on the BookTok community, specifically Spicy BookTok. And I am recording this kind of in the midst of when all this drama is going on in April, but this is going up in May, hopefully when some of the drama has started to settle down a little bit. Quite a few people have been making posts, whether on TikTok or on Instagram or here on YouTube, about why the BookTok community and Spicy BookTok is ruining the bookish community, is ruining publishing, ruining romance, the genre. I'm going to start off here now, before I continue, by saying I do not agree with any of these. I have made quite a few friends through BookTok, and honestly, I wholeheartedly disagree with those opinions. I do think that BookTok has, as a whole, made certain things more spoken about and more discussed, like spicy books and spice and romance. Those two topics specifically have been more talked about because of TikTok as a platform. I feel like people are misinterpreting disgust more and misequating that with an increase in an overflow of spicy romance books being published. I do think there have been quite a few more spicy books published recently because of BookTok and because authors and publishers are seeing that that's what's popular, but I don't think it's that much of a difference from when they were publishing it before TikTok and BookTok made it a more popular thing. And I don't think it's that much different from other things that BookTok has made trendy and popular and more widespread, like cartoon covers or certain tropes within the romance genre and dark romance. It's just made it more popular and more widely accessible, and these titles more known and widely accessible. Honestly, I think a lot of the discussion around people who have been disparaging on the BookTok community and Spicy BookTok, gosh, I lost that thought, but honestly, I think a lot of their arguments are like, oh, it's only promoting the same 10 books, or oh, it's dirty reading. Like, a lot of the people who are disparaging on that, they are free to like what they like and to not like what they don't like. Those people are free to do that 100%, but that does not mean you should start hating on other people who like that content. There's no point in that, because at the end of the day, like, they're not hurting you by liking that. Them liking that affects your life in no way whatsoever. And as quite a few people have pointed out, and myself on my own BookTok at Shanna's Books and Hugs, what you're watching on TikTok as a whole, not just with BookTok, but on TikTok as a whole, what you're watching and what is showing up on your For You page is fully and completely under your control. As I explained in one of my TikTok videos, which I'll link down below in the description, what you watch through until the end, what you like, what you comment on, what you save, what you share, the TikTok algorithm sees that you're interacting with those kinds of posts, whether it's Spicy BookTok, and it also sees what hashtags you're using and what you're using in your own captions. So it's taking all that into account and then recommending you more videos under those hashtags with similar captions, with similar vibes, with similar sounds. And so it's fully up to you what you're seeing on your TikTok For You page. So if you're seeing a lot of spicy books on your TikTok For You page, it's because you're engaging with videos that talk about and promote spicy books in one form or another. You are somehow engaging with that content, and TikTok sees that, and more often than not, you're engaging with it in more than one way. And TikTok sees that, and then it's like, oh, they're engaging, so we're going to show them more videos under this hashtag, under this type of caption, under this sound, with this specific books or this specific author's hashtag or title or name in the caption. Something else I mentioned in my one TikTok video, it does not matter what you are commenting on the video. TikTok, the algorithm, the AI, whatever form of AI it is, it doesn't see what you're commenting, it doesn't read what you're commenting. All the algorithm takes into account is that you're commenting, and because you're commenting on that kind of video, it's going to show you more of that kind of video. And the algorithm is the same here on YouTube. It's the same for most social media platforms that have some form of posting style, whether it's videos or pictures. Like, for example, here on YouTube, YouTube, I've been commenting and engaging a lot more in more ways with booktube creators that I follow and subscribe to. So the YouTube algorithm is showing me more booktube videos. Even if I'm not subscribed to the person, they're showing me more booktube videos based on what I'm searching in the search bar, based on what I'm commenting on, what I'm liking, who I'm subscribed to. It's the same for all social media platforms. And I also mentioned searching. That is also another way to engage with content. Like if you're searching up like a certain creator or certain author, you're going to see more of that creator's videos on your For You page, on your suggested. You're also going to see more similar creators to that one creator you searched up, if that's what you searched up. You're going to see similar creators to them on your For You page. So the algorithm isn't just showing you random things, it's showing you personalized things based on what you're looking at. And there are relatively easy ways to reset your algorithm if you need to, and that is also something you can look up on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever platform you're on. If you feel like you need to reset your algorithm, it's relatively easy to do so. But I honestly don't see why we need to keep having these kinds of discussions, because at the end of the day, if another person's opinions and feelings and book interests and taste in books, at the end of the day, if that doesn't hurt you, then it's not your problem and it's not your business. And at the end of the day as well, you control what you're seeing on social media platforms. And you can say, not interested. On YouTube, there's the option to dislike something. You can dislike something. You can just scroll past it and not watch the video or not see the post. There are ways to sync up your algorithm to have it not show you things you don't want to see and to have it show you things that you do want to see. And if you don't want to see Spicy BookTok, you don't have to see Spicy BookTok. But that also means not engaging with Spicy BookTok, so not saving the post, not sharing it, not commenting on it, not liking it. It is what it is. Moving on to one of the other bigger discussions that I've seen, and I've seen it on BookTok, Bookstagram, BookTube, less so on BookTube, but I have seen it occasionally on BookTube. Whereas like the Spicy BookTok, that's mainly been relegated to BookTok, which is stupid because you see spicy bookish content on all platforms. Anyway, as I said, moving on. The other big discussion that I've seen is the audiobook. Sadly, again, another conversation where it's like, why are we having this again? And similarly to what I was saying with Spicy BookTok and Spicy Books and Spicy Romance, if that's not something you like, if you do not count audiobooks as reading for yourself, that is perfectly fine, perfectly okay. Keep doing you, keep doing that, but don't start saying that to other people, because if other people want to count audiobooks as reading, let them do that and let them do it in peace. And the thing is, saying that audiobooks are not considered reading is very ableist. And I know one argument is like, oh, people who are blind read Braille. I just looked it up real quick because I didn't want to like throw out an estimate, but Braille books typically cost 5 times more than the standard print books. And some of the examples I'm seeing are a single page of a Braille book with the embossing to identify the letters. That can take roughly the same amount of paper as 2 or 3 pages in a standard book, depending on the book you're looking at. So the fact that it's 5 times more expensive than publishing a regular book, most publishers are not going to do that. They're not going to be spending 5 times more to try to get their books published in Braille as well, when they already have audiobooks being published and put out there and recorded, and paying not only the narrators but the authors as well for the royalties for the books to be published as audiobooks. They're not going to be spending an additional 5 times more to get a book published in Braille, to get multiple copies of that book in Braille out there. Most publishing companies are not going to do that. And that's taking into account the traditional publishers. If you're an indie author and you're doing indie publishing and publishing on your own, most of the time indie authors do not have the resources nor the funds to get a book published in Braille, because you need to be able to hire someone to do that and to do it properly. I'm not saying that indie authors wouldn't want to do that, but an easier route would be to hire an audiobook narrator and then upload it on a place like Spotify rather than trying to get Braille. So that's one argument I've heard. But the main argument that I've heard is like, oh, you're listening to it being read, you're not actually reading it, and reading means you're reading words on a page. And the thing is, yes, that's true, but there's also oral reading and there's oral learning. The thing is whatever I would want to say has already been said, and it's like, just because you don't count audiobooks as reading does not mean that other people cannot count audiobooks as reading just because you don't. And just because you feel that way, again, can be very ableist, is very ableist, because if you have someone who's not like fully blind, didn't have the resources to learn Braille, maybe can see something, like how do you expect them to read? There are audiobooks for a reason, and they're called audiobooks. They're not just called, like, I can't even think of like another term for audiobooks where it's like it wouldn't be a book. They're not movies, they're not music, they're not podcasts. They're books being read. They are audiobooks, and they're there for a reason. And honestly, I'm not sure what else to say. I do find this very annoying. And another thing is too, if you take into account people who don't learn in the traditional sense and need special assistance in learning, sometimes even if they can read words on the page, something happens. Maybe they're visually why can't I say the word right now? Maybe they're visually dyslexic. There we go. Even if they can read and write, it's harder for them to do so. So their next best thing is an audiobook. Maybe it's just easier for them to hear the words and hear the book rather than actually reading it. So it's like most of the arguments for audiobooks don't count as reading don't hold much water. That's all I'm going to talk about in today's video, just because it's like, it is very silly in my opinion that we're still having conversations like these. At the end of the day, I feel like we just need to support each other in the bookish community, and if that's not something that someone can do, then just scroll by. Don't engage with it. So as I said, I'm going to end this video here. If you have any thoughts on this, please let me know down below in the comments. Just keep it civil, please. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video.